Imagine turning your handwriting into a real font and then actually selling it. All that with just an iPad? Well, with Fontself's latest update, that's exactly what I did. And in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can do it as well. Last year, I reviewed the Fontself app and they just released some new exciting updates. So instead of just doing another review video, I decided to do something a bit different, taking it a step further and actually create a fully working font and see if I can sell it online. This is actually the first of a two-part video in which I'll show you how I make the font and how I put it up for sale. And in the second video, that's gonna be more of a review video to see actually how much money I made. Honestly, I have no idea if I'll make any money at all, but yeah, think of it as a test and let's see what happens. I'll make the second video in a month or two, so yeah, keep your eyes open for that. For those of you who don't know, Fontself is an app that lets you turn your lettering, calligraphy, or even handwriting into a fully functional font. I did a review video last year, so you can check that one if you want. Honestly, it was already pretty amazing last year, but the new updates, they really take it to a next level. So here's what's new. Nib editing and anchor point adjustments, super useful for fine-tuning those tricky letters. Manual letter spacing and kerning. Man, this is huge and it works so freaking good. More on that later on. Font templates, you can now save, share, and hopefully in the future even sell your custom font templates. Font installs, so you can use them directly on your iPad, also pretty sweet. Font information details, this is big if you're planning to sell your fonts, which is something we're gonna definitely use later on. Pencil rolls for twisting your brush nibs. Background images, this was actually one of the suggestions I had in the last review video, and it's a game changer for aligning your design and speeding up the creation process. And yeah, and some other cool stuff as well. Quick heads up, Fontself is now a paid app. They changed their pricing structure. Now it's a one-time payment for unlimited use, and frankly, it's totally worth it. All right, let's put these updates to the test by making a font from scratch, and then I'll show you how exactly to sell it. Last time I created a display hand letter font, but this time I wanted to go in a different direction. I was thinking to turn my handwriting into a font, something that feels maybe a bit more personal and authentic. So step one is to determine the creative direction. Before I start writing out the font, I want to get clear on the style. I don't want to have all my ideas popping up everywhere on the page. It's just too much chaos up there. I need some constraints. So first up, I hit up Pinterest for some inspiration, and as always, here you can find an overwhelming amount of examples. What I had in mind was to create a handwritten font, looking for that smooth but rough vibe, kind of like a streetwear mixed with skate culture type of thing. Not sure if that means anything to you. Once I have a general idea, I just wrote down some creative notes to help me stay on track. And yeah, here is what I wrote down. I wanted it to be handwritten, of course. I wanted it to be cursive so that the letters are mostly connected to each other. I wanted to have this action/dynamic feel to indicate some sort of motion. Obviously, I wanted it to be for the streetwear niche. I wanted to be appealing to the skateboarding/graffiti subculture, which is something that resonates with me personally. Gestural strokes, so it's not too rigid and follows a strict structure, so something that is a bit more free, expressive. I wanted it to have lower contrast, so it doesn't have a big contrast between the thick and thin lines. So yeah, those were my notes. Step 2 is sketching. Next up, I sketched out the basic letter forms in Procreate, and as you can see, I already did that step. I wanted to take advantage of the new background image feature in Fontself, so I took a screenshot of the Fontself interface and I aligned all of my letters in their own individual boxes. This way I can speed up my next step. Step 3 is creating the font, and it's time to bring the letters to life. I open up the app, I upload my sketch into it, and then I just try to align it as much as possible to the interface. Once I have that in place, I just lower the opacity and we're ready to roll. I select the brush, I adjust the settings of the brush, and I follow my sketch as closely as possible. I'll speed up this part because you probably don't want to just sit here and watch the whole entire process. Or maybe you do, I don't know, let me know in the comments below. In any case, this whole process didn't take more than an hour to do, since I already had the sketch, and yeah, it was pretty smooth. And Fontself useful interface and the user experience within the app is pretty smooth, and it tells you exactly which letters you need and what you need to do in the app. So yeah, there's not much wandering around. Step 4 is fine-tuning the details. Okay, so my font is done. Now I have to clean it up. I go through it and I adjust the heights and the spacing as needed. Since it's a cursive font, getting the letter connections right is super important. And luckily with the new kerning update, this step is so much easier. I can either control the spacing of the whole font or adjust each kerning pair individually. And I get a live preview as I tweak it, which is honestly a game changer. Once that's done, I fill out the font info and metadata, which is super important if you're planning to sell it. And the last step is, of course, testing out the font. And of course, Fontself makes it pretty easy to do as well. So you can just literally type everything out and see how it flows. You have these different templates that you can choose to test them out. So yeah, now that we have a fully working font, it's time to try and sell it and make some money. You can sell your font on a bunch of different platforms. I've put a short list in the description box below. But for gin and juice, and yeah, that's how I decided to call my font, I'm gonna try to sell it on Creative Market, which is one of the platforms I've been working with, and my own website. Since my goal is to target streetwear/urban style niche, I need to make sure my presentation images reflect that vibe. So I already went ahead and made my presentation images. So let me give you a quick tour. You have the cover photo of the name of the font. I really like the combination of black and yellow, and so I decided to go for that combo. So yeah, cover image, just presenting the name of the font. Next up, it's just like an overview of all the letters and special symbols. Unfortunately, I cannot yet add alternate characters to the Fontself app on the iPad. Then we have this cool hoodie mockup. I did some sort of crazy hoodie design using the gin and juice font I just created. I did a snapback mockup to show that the font is thick enough that you can also do embroidery. Yeah, some fonts are very thin, and when you try to embroider them, you're not really able to do that. So I thought it's a cool feature to have. Yeah, then some t-shirt designs. Here I play with some effects on the Procreate app. And yeah, just a shot of all different words using the gin and juice font. And honestly, I think it came out pretty freaking cool, and I'm pretty satisfied with the result, especially considering it took me less than a day to make this font. So yeah, once you have your presentation images, all there's left to do is sign up for those marketplaces. Everything is pretty user-friendly, so I doubt you're gonna have issues by putting up your font there. I'm gonna put a price of, I don't know, maybe between $5 to $10 for this font. I'm selling it less than usual because it's a very basic font with not a lot of extra features. And as I said, this is just a test to see if I can actually make any money at all by creating fonts within one day, I guess. So yeah, that's how you can create and sell fonts using the Fontself app. I love how much smoother the process is now, and I think this is an awesome way for beginners to get into font design. Now I want to hear from you. Do you want to try and make your own font? Do you think the process is maybe too challenging or maybe too easy? Do you have any questions about the app? Let me know in the comments below. That's pretty much it for this video. Stay tuned for part 2 of this video, where I'm gonna actually review the numbers and see if we managed to make any sales at all and any money at all with the gin and juice font that I just created. That's it for me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Peace.